Here inside the Mello Center at the Women's Basketball Media Day alongside Brittany Sykes, I'm Jim O'Shea. And Brittany, such a great year last year, best year in over 30 years. What do you take from last year's success to translate it into this year?
After a blowout win over Dartmouth on Thursday, it was more the same for Syracuse against Cornell. But the defense did step it up a notch, forcing a season-high 29 turnovers. Even though the full-court press was on the entire game, it was more about forcing the Big Red into bad spots on the floor. If it was from the 3 or from the 2, it didn't matter Wednesday for Syracuse against Maryland Eastern Shore. The Orange broke 2 scoring records, all-time points in a half and all-time points in a game with 113. But what might be lost in the aftermath is the fact that the sophomore duo of Brittany Sykes and Brianna Butler combined for the most points ever as teammates. Those on the floor, however, did take a notice.
Been practicing any half-court shots after the St. John's game last year, possibly going to pull that out of the...
This year's Syracuse squad isn't losing a player like Chandler Jones, who was drafted 21st overall in the 2011 NFL Draft. But they are losing 2 key players in Jay Bromley and Marcus Sproul. Coaches say players must step up in order to fill those voids.
And speaking of the conference, the ACC, you got the 2-day twins from North Carolina. You got Taja Butler from Maryland, Slim from the Netherlands. How did being in the ACC possibly help you in the recruiting landscape to expand past the Northeast?
Spring football practice opened up today. Coaches say it went a lot better than last year. Starting at the helm with quarterback Terrell Hunt, coaches say his presence on the field was definitely felt.
The Orange returns home for 4 games in 10 days, beginning with Dartmouth on Thursday. Reporting from the Mello Center, Jim O'Shea, Citrus TV.
After NCAA tournament appearance and a 24-8 record, it stands as the second best year in school history. How do you improve on that? You learn and build from it.
We turned the corner in our conference.
We finished out strong, number 3 in our conference, and to go to the NCAA tournament first round says a lot about our character. The sophomores now, that's all we know, the NCAA, and for the upperclassmen and the seniors now, they want to get back to NCAA tournament.
Something that can't be replicated is Kayla Alexander, who was drafted number 8 overall by the San Antonio Silver Stars. The former center broke 6 school records, but the team knows it must move on and looks to fill in the void right away.
We have Kia that is very good. She moves very good, shoots, she can step out.
Probably in the best shape that I've seen her in since she's been here. But Brianna and Bria Day are doing an excellent job of being able to step in and play major minute for.
Other than the center position, the rest of the team is also deep. 3 starters are returning along with 6-man Rachel Coffey, and the recruiting class is top 10 nationally. All that adds up to what?
We are an NCAA team, and we should get further, than the first round.
We have a very talented roster. We got 7 to 8 players, but they probably should be starters for us.
The biggest challenge may come in the new conference, the ACC. It's a whole new brand of basketball on the court and in the stands.
I would say I'm looking forward to the new arenas that we're playing in. Play these tough teams and not only watch them on TV, but to now play against them, it's going to be big for us.
They're stronger, point guards are taller. They're just, it's just a different style of play.
Just the speed of basketball, because that's all I've been around the ACC all my life.
Syracuse looks to move from the past into the future this year. A tough non-conference slate will help with that, but the real work will come in January and February. Nonetheless, it all tips off November 10th on the other side of the country at Washington State. Jim O'Shea, Citrus TV.
Pro Day is the last chance before the NFL Draft for players to prove themselves in front of pro scouts. And even though it's a much different experience in games, the goal still remained the same.
Coach, talking about last year, second best year in the history of the program here, best year since 1980 and 1981. What are you going to take from last year's success and translate it into this year, especially with such a young team and an experienced team last year?
SU looks to continue its momentum at home on Sunday against Maine. Reporting from the Carrier Dome, Jim O'Shea, Citrus TV.
Speaking of the new conference, you're going into the ACC this year. What are you most looking forward to?
Now all the players can do is wait until the draft begins on May 8th in New York City. And as Mackie McPherson said, he just hopes he gets that call from his agent. Reporting from Manley Fieldhouse, Jim O'Shea, Citrus TV. After 4 straight years of making the NIT, the Syracuse women's basketball team finally made the NCAA tournament last year for the first time in 5 years. But with a new year comes new opportunities.
And with that opportunity, now starting center Shaquille Leary took advantage of hers, going off for 21 points and 16 rebounds against Washington State Sunday. On the field is one thing, but as defensive coordinator Chuck Bulla said, a leader must emerge as spring practice goes on. Reporting from the Hall of Fame lobby in Manley Fieldhouse, Jim O'Shea, Citrus TV.
Looking forward to this year. What are you most looking forward to with, the new era, quote unquote, of the ACC?
It was just day one of spring practice, and quarterbacks coach Tim Lester said he definitely saw some rust in Terrell Hunt. But as spring now goes on, coaches want Terrell Hunt to get more consistent in the passing game. Reporting from the Hall of Fame lobby at Manley Fieldhouse, Jim O'Shea, Citrus TV.
SU continues its 4-game homestand with a matchup with Maryland Eastern Shore on Wednesday. Reporting from the Carrier Dome, Jim O'Shea, Citrus TV.